Hello everybody, welcome to The Tube. A lot of news on our show tonight. Let's start. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey confirmed the departure of 4 key executives late Sunday night, including VP of Media Katie Stanton, VP of Product Kevin Weil, and VP of Engineering Alex Reuter. Twitter's VP of Human Resources Brian Skip Shipper is also departing. That's according to Dorsey's tweet. And Jason Toff, head of the standalone video app Vine, announced his departure to Google in a separate tweet Sunday night. Dorsey, who co-founded Twitter, said when he returned to the company last month that he would make sweeping changes. The first was to lay off 8% of the company's workforce, and it now seems changes are being made among top executives. Shares in Twitter fell about 7% in early trading in New York on Monday and are down almost 60% over the past 12 months. Pope Francis has taken a stand against many things since becoming Bishop of Rome, but now the Holy Father is bringing his moral authority to bear against one of his toughest enemies yet, internet trolls. In a message published on the same day that the Pope met Apple boss Tim Cook, Francis said digital technology and the internet could help bring people together, but also had the potential to create deep wounds. Francis wrote in his message that access to digital networks entail a responsibility for our neighbor whom we do not see, but who is nonetheless real and has a dignity which must be respected. And to understand why trolls are trolls, here's a short clip from a video about the science behind internet trolls by the great YouTube channel ASAP Science.
While many people do enjoy chatting and debating issues online, approximately 5.6% of individuals self-identify as trolls or say they enjoy trolling online. So scientists decided to study a group of 1,200 internet users to understand these trolls in particular and found a myriad of something called dark traits. Specifically, online trolls were found to display high levels of psychopathy, narcissism, and most specifically, sadism. That is, people who enjoy the pain of others. Now, most people tend to avoid inflicting pain on others, and if we do, we experience guilt or remorse. But for sadists, cruelty can be exciting and pleasurable. These people aren't necessarily serial killers or bad people, but they get an emotional reward when causing or observing the suffering of others. In fact, there's even a category called everyday sadism that highlights how sadistic traits are present in many people.
Yeah, good luck, Mr. Pope. Now, Samsung wants to entertain you, so the company behind the Gear VR virtual reality headset is opening a New York studio to produce new immersive experiences. Samsung announced the news at the Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah, where virtual reality is emerging as a prominent theme. There are not a lot of details about this new studio Samsung are building, but we do know the company inked a year-long partnership with the Sundance Institute to help develop filmmakers with its technologies. Samsung announcement goes perfectly with Sundance 2016's future-focused New Frontier program, a sub-festival that's taking great interest in virtual reality films and experiences this year. If you are a regular consumer, you may have never heard of the giant software company SAP. But most companies rely on the German giant. It's 70% of all 100 Fortune companies are using SAP tools to track customers and business interactions. Yad Oren, the most senior Israeli man in the company, is now visiting his homeland in search for an interesting Israeli startup. Let's see SAP's ad to understand a little more about the company before we'll dive into some data.
Can a business have a mind, a subconscious, a power to store every experience and call upon it through something called intuition? Can a company have reflexes, a nervous system, the ability to react precisely and correctly, faster than the speed of thought? Can an enterprise have a sixth sense, a knack for predicting the future? Can a business have a spirit? Can a business have a soul? Can a business be alive?
With me in the studio is Yad Oren, Senior Director at SAP Corporate Strategy Group and a special guest of SAP Labs in Israel. Good evening.
Good evening, Jason.
So let's talk a little bit about SAP for the regular user. Like me, it's a little bit hard to understand, but what does it do exactly?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. SAP provides, like you say, the software that enable most of the enterprises in the world to run their operation, whether you want to purchase something or you want to run your sales process or manufacture line, if you're Harley-Davidson, so you most likely use SAP software. We have almost 300,000 customers worldwide, and we're existing for 44 years. And currently, we have a very big responsibility to help enterprises transform into the digital era and harness all these unique technologies to their success.
Yeah, but in the video we just saw, you ask, can a business have a soul?
True.
Explain this question and your answer to it.
Well, basically, each enterprise has its own core of processes, and each enterprise has its own unique differentiation, right? Because if all the enterprises will work in the same process and everyone will sell the same thing, have the same marketing campaign, have the same culture and the way they communicate with their customers, then nobody will make money, right? They will all be the same, there will be no competition, and there will be no differentiation. So basically, the soul of the company is the core of all the business process, whether it's the employees or your relationship with your supplier and your customers. And in order to work in the modern age, you need some digital core that enable you to take this soul and pretty much translate it into valid business operations.
And that has something to do with big data.
Yeah, big data is one of the most common technologies of our time. And as you probably know, we are surrounded with so much data. You have data from Internet of Things that you collect via sensor. Everyone are connecting using wearable device or mobile phone. So enterprises are looking at this unprecedented proliferation of data and asking themselves, how can I harness this data and pretty much learn more about my consumer or improve my maintenance or my manufacturing?
Can you give me like a simple example, like of a company and how it uses its data through you?
Of course. I think one of the most interesting examples that we have is coming from Harley-Davidson, which is the big manufacturers of motorcycles. And they did an amazing thing. They connected a sensor to each component in the manufacture line. And they measure data, like terabytes of data, and enable them to learn more about when the assembly line will something go wrong with it. Or they can predict better when you will need extra maintenance. And using this data and analyze this terabyte of information, they reduce the manufacturing time of certain motorcycle from days to hours. And this is an example how can utilize a huge amount of data to better analytics and better understanding of your business process.
Interesting. And you are part of the strategy department at SAP.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, we work very closely to the board of executive of SAP, and this is a huge company. We're talking about 77,000 employees worldwide. And I'm based in San Francisco, and we are helping the board to shape the future strategy, like which market we want to merge into, what kind of strategic partnership we would like to do. And my favorite topic is what kind of acquisition we can do in order to continue this growth and make sure this company will continue to cater to the customer demands.
Which is what brings you here in Israel?
Yeah, this is what brings me here.
Okay, so what specifically are you looking for?
So Israel have one of the most innovative labs that SAP has. It's right here in Israel, and it's not only responsible for developing some of the most innovative product. It also connects us to the great ecosystem that Israel have, the many startups. And we are basically looking for two things. There are a number of technologies which are very unique to the Israeli market, like cybersecurity, for example, which is very famous. Another one is financial technologies, the new type of payment systems. And Israel is very strong in those different domains. There are really air train of executive coming to Israel from all around the big corporate with some Microsoft acquired companies here and so forth. And this is very unique advantage that the Israeli market has, understanding in those technologies. In addition, there is also unique talent here coming from the different military unions and also strong execution skills with the Israeli chutzpah and the way we are operate. So this is very compelling for many enterprises, and the reason why I'm happy to meet dozens of startups here and report to the board about interesting potential acquisitions.
So how long till we open the show with news about a new big acquisition in the Israeli market?
Well, I think we have those news. I think 2015 it was a record year for acquisition, and I'm pretty optimistic this will continue. Currently, of course, we don't have something concrete on the table.
Obviously.
But I think that despite the macro conditions and the market being a little slow right now, we're definitely going to see some news from the industry in Israel pretty soon.
Good, super interesting. Thank you very much for coming and sharing the information.
Thanks, James.
Okay, let's move on. The war against ads continues. Brandon Eich, co-founder of Mozilla and creator of JavaScript programming language, has unveiled his latest project, Brave, a web browser that blocks ads by default, then replaces those blocked ads with its own much friendlier ads. Online advertisements track your every move around the web, slow down the loading time of pages, and some carry the risk of infecting your computer with malware. Brave will automatically block these sort of ads and replace them with its own non-intrusive ads, making your browsing experience faster and more secure. The company will then take percentage from the new ads. It's a bold and strange idea, but the web was born for the bold and brave. Former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld is back in the spotlight, and this time for the best possible reason: he made an app. The 83-year-old Rumsfeld led a group of developers to create Churchill Solitaire, a more challenging form of solitaire allegedly invented by Winston Churchill himself. Rumsfeld says that the game is probably the most challenging and strategic game of logic or puzzle he has ever played, and that he was concerned that it would be lost to the ages if it wasn't spread to more people. Here is the trailer for this epic solitaire game made by the man who led the US to the war in Iraq.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender.
For decades, the game that Sir Winston Churchill played to sharpen his wits and steel his nerves was lost to the ages. Now, the most diabolical version of solitaire ever devised has been brought to life for a new generation. Churchill Solitaire will keep you coming back, battle after battle, deal after deal, until victory is won. Challenge your friends and family, compete against thousands worldwide, and using skill and cunning, advance through the ranks to become Prime Minister. Do you deserve victory? Play now for free in the App Store.
Yeah, Shai, our editor-in-chief, just told me that it's one of these games that are so hard to play that unless you're really into being frustrated most of the time you are playing a game, so the game is not for you. If you're like me, still all into Candy Crush, so the game isn't for you. But, you know, the world's safety was always in good hands. Now, there are not enough things us humans can still do and robots can't. Solving a Rubik's Cube used to be one rare thing us humans were superior at. Not anymore. Software engineers Jay Flatland and Paul Rose have built a machine that can solve Rubik's Cubes ridiculously fast. Their robot takes just over 1 second to complete the task. The duo is currently in the process of applying for a world record. The current human world record is held by Lucas Etter at 4.9 seconds. So here is the end of our domination at the Rubik's Cube game. Take a look.
Scrambled cube and solving. All right, my name is Jay Flatland. This is my friend Paul Rose. Hi. We've built an extremely fast Rubik's Cube solving robot, and we're in the process right now of applying for an official world record. 1.196. All right, we're turning the cube with stepper motors. They are resting in a 3D printed frame. The stepper motors have little 3D printed feet on the ends of them that fit into carefully drilled holes in each side of the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, a little more information about what we just saw. These dudes printed out in their own 3D printer of this machine that solved the Rubik's Cubes. I think the record is 1 second 09, which is very fast. So, hey, geeks, thank you for ruining the world just a teeny bit more for your own fun and pleasure. And that's it for now, I think. But first of all, we have a second part of the show coming right after the news. We have our website, i24news.tv. That's always there for you, no matter what you want, need, or long. Okay, so see you very, very shortly.